by 15 to 19 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Other changes for section 5?
I'm not sure if some of these have already been said, but over the last, I mean, under trends in the first sentence, over the last decade goes back to seeing minor fluctuation in the number of residents. So,
Yep.
but has also seen an increase. I think it's has instead of have.
Which one?
The second one, it has also seen an increase in residents, because you're talking about West Bath.
Okay.
Next, I found a reference to the 2005 comp plan, which should probably be 2006, right? Are we changing all the 2005s to 2006s? It's the first sentence underneath analysis and issues.
Okay. Thank you for catching that. Anything else for section 5? Hearing none. I'm looking at the, we're gonna move on to section 6. Agriculture and forestry.
In the first paragraph,
Yep.
7th line down, the map does not include the areas, should be an S, currently take the is out.
It's not indicates, it's indicate.
Does not indicate the areas. Do we have just one area?
I don't know.
I think it should be areas.
Yeah.
Currently used as farmland.
Yeah, does not indicate the areas, yeah. And then, the highlight would be gone, but this was just a comment that was raised, make sure it's what's defined as what the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry has for selection harvesting, shelter wood, and clear cut harvesting. So that highlight's now gonna be gone, but that was just a mental note.
And then the last paragraph on 6.1.
Yep.
Second line, where you're describing growing stock trees greater than 4.5 inches of diameter at breast height, not health.
Oh. Yeah.
That would be better.
All right. Any other changes for agriculture and forestry?
The, table 6-1, did it ever get squared away in the,
It's not gonna be different from that. I've asked them, they said this is how they've had their data for a while. Where they said it was just so, or it was so inconsequential between certain years that they had to group them together.
Okay. Were we gonna add 2020 and 2021 and
Probably
22?
don't have it yet.
Yeah, I asked them and they said they just don't have it.
Who's done? Maine Forest Service?
The Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry. I'll ask them one more time.
Yeah, no, you're right, I see it. I just thought this was also town data, maybe. For like the last couple of years, we would have that, but.
What does change of land use refer to? This column?
If it was once residential developable land and now it's gone into forestry.
Okay, meaning that, so it's changed meaning towards forestry?
Right, you change it to timberland
forest land.
But I think it doesn't count because you actually have a forester come and do a plan, correct?
Probably.
And you had a field that went to trees that went back to field.
Any
But
other
it's
changes?
such trivial acreage, I don't think a forester do a plan for 2 acres.
So just because it's 20 minutes till, I wanna make sure we're gonna wrap up and have enough time so I can get feedback on the maps. Any other changes for section 6? Hearing none, we will go to 7. We'll go to section 7. So, just for the sake of time, if these are like substantial changes, like we're changing full word sentences, then that's one thing. If it's just minor grammatical ones, just leave that off for now, and I'll address that after the meeting.
Page 7.2,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you want to change anything, but this under soils,
Yeah.
the last sentence of that paragraph. There are many different soil types called soil series which have been identified and mapped by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Soil Conservation Service. That is a correct sentence, except the Soil Conservation Service doesn't exist anymore. They changed their name, and it's now the National Resources Conservation Service. I don't know if you want to.
Good. I mean, it should be right.
Okay,
Should be right.
but the SCS, the Soil Conservation Service, actually did the map. They've now just
Yeah.
morphed into another agency or a different named agency. It's the same outfit, different name.
National Resources Conservation Services.
Yes,
Yeah.
that happened
No, it's always good to
Good
point.
catch.
Yeah, it's always good to point.
2017.
We want it as quick as can be. So
It's
good.
always good to point those out, and it's kind of funny. The soils never change, but the organizations do.
That's an incredible resource.
So on the next page, 7.3, is that also the second paragraph change that SCS?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, it's in there a couple of times.
National Resources Conservation Services. Yes. All right.
That is just a statement. Those maps of the lands it's a mandate from Congress that was done a long time ago. And they have literally mapped every forest and farm acreage soil in the entire country.
That's terrific.
Okay.
And it's an incredibly valuable map for the state of Maine.
Did you have something else for you?
Yeah, because I don't think inventorying is a word.
Where are you?
7.3 top, first line, top line. The reasons for inventorying and analyzing soil data, maybe taking an inventory or,
Creating inventory and
yeah, I mean, it's not something besides inventory.
Okay. Any other changes for section 7?
On 7.5,
Yep.
down at the bottom of the deer wintering areas, second sentence on the bottom.
Yep.
2 of these locations are between Mill Cove and Winnegans Creek, so Mill Cove is gonna be capitalized, and I think you wanna get depicted out of there. So Cove is.
Okay.
And then up above, like on the 3rd sentence down, same section, Birchwood Point. Where is that?
Which we call it.
Birchwood Pond, sorry, Birchwood Pond.
I assume it's Birch Point. I never heard of Birchwood Pond.
That's, yeah, that's why I'm like, not sure.
Just looking at that.
It's going out.
It's moving
Oh, yes.
on the map.
That,
This is what you
I just was wondering if it was a typo and it wasn't.
It probably is a typo.
Which map would that be on?
Deer habitats are, beginning with habitat, primary map 2, high value plant and animal habitats.
I never heard of bird point either. Bird point pond.
Are these maps gonna be plotted a different size than this one on this one?
Yes.
I can make them 11 by 17s.
Cause you can't read this at all. It's too small. Alright, well, I didn't wanna derail, I just wanna know if that was really a place or if that was a typo.
Is there any way you can check on that?
Yeah, yeah, I'll check the data that they sent me.
And would it, well, this is a map that they've created, right? It's not like we can zoom in on it and only get West Path to make it bigger. Yeah, okay. Well, actually, you could just piece it together.
We could, but we have to get our map person to do it, and they are gonna start getting a lot busy. So
Okay.
I'm gonna see what Birchwood is supposed to be like.
That's like where the Birchwood, is it the hotel that burned off of Birchwood Road? There's a pond that, I mean, there's a lot of deer back there, but I don't know if that's what they're.
I never heard
It was
of
like
it.
an old dam and.
Yeah. I know that,
I've
I never.
never.
Somewhere near Campbell Pond. Alright, anything else for section 7? Section 7.
I think I had something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bridgeton.
7-6.
Yep.
Overboard wastewater discharge, it says licensed flow of over 2,000 gallons per day. Is that supposed to be 200 gallons per day? 2,000 gallons per day of poo is a lot.
I don't know, it's gray water too.
2,000 gallons?
is a lot. Either way,
That's a lot.
So that's all of that?
So you think it's 200?
do we know if it's 200 or 2,000?
Oh, I said, I answered that.
I'm not sure what it is.
I'm gonna find,
2,000 sounds like a lot.
I will find that out.
Do they mean all four of them? I don't know. It's kind of.
No,
That would make
it's
sense.
individual.
Yeah.
Anything else for section 7?
On 7-8, second paragraph down, middle, where it says New Meadows River, you need an R on the end of river.
I'm sorry, where was this, 7, 8?
Second paragraph down, on the left-hand side, like midway down through the paragraph, New Meadows River.
Okay.
5 cents.
Got it.
Also,
And, yeah, I meant to point this out, page 7-7, I included the uranium.
Right, thank you.
So that's, oh, so that's.
Yes, that was just the highlight that I actually got this time.
And then, under invasive species, the first sentence has got too many partial thoughts in it. So invasive plants, alien to local ecosystems, where they become established, grow rapidly. Like invasive plants that are alien to local ecosystems,
You could stop after.
grow rapidly where they become established and can be, or they,
You can end the sentence at rapidly. And say that the plants can be spread by, is that a new sentence?
I was gonna also say, yours include, just saying,
Maybe
there's
grow-
invasive animals.
maybe grow rapidly and can be spread by unsuspecting residents, period. The spread may, residents may carry plant fragments on boats.
Right, so if you get rid of where they become established, maybe. So invasive plants that are alien to local ecosystems grow rapidly and can be spread. Does that sound better?
And can be spread. Period.
No, keep going after that, I just didn't wanna read the whole thing.
Okay, so invasive plants that are alien to local ecosystems grow rapidly and can be spread by unsuspecting residents, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's no mention of animals there, it's a lot focused on plants, I just thought with green crab issues and
Hmm.
I thought that should be included.
Oh, yeah.
So that-
I don't know anything about the green crabs or how to
It
write
is,
that, so,
it is a problem.
yeah. Dave, do you know about green crabs?
Oh, sure.
So, come up with something.
I think we could just add a sentence, another paragraph about,
Well, I mean, green crabs are in the marine resources section, where it's talking about, yeah, where it's just saying green crab, a nuisance invasive species in the American waters. So it's referenced in marine resources, but it's just briefly done once. I don't know if that helps, or.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen it before, but just of this being the invasive species, it just seems like it wouldn't be just plants. John's
because
I mean, we got all kinds of other problems.
I don't think, brown tail is that an invasive species though?
No, it's not, or it's not, I mean, it's not. But it's going to
Actually, it probably should say basic plants and insects that are alien to the ecosystem, looking at that.
just,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Plants, animals,
just
insects.
look at it, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. If you don't mind that, it'll just be invasive plants, comma, animals, comma, insects, and insects.
What's an invasive animal?
Green crab.
Green crab?
They're shellfish.
It's an animal.
Fine, invasive plants, animals, insects, shellfish.
Anyway.
Alright.
I don't know what this is.
Any other changes for critical natural water resources? Yes.
Same page, 7 and 8.
Yep.
Under water quality protection,
Mm-hmm.
the next to the last line of the first paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
you have no controlled hazardous materials sites in West Bath. However, they are current. There are
Current.
There are,
use.
yeah, I heard that.
in past land uses.
Oh,
Change they to there.
there are current and past names. Okay.
On the very last page.
Can we go back to 7.7, this is the,
Yep.
at the bottom, which can change the temperate and capacity, isn't it supposed to be temperature? Second to last,
Where are you?
second to last line.
7.7,
Under rapid development, but second to last.
fisheries and shellfish habitats are also susceptible to damage from excessive phosphorus, which can change the temperate and capacity of water to hold.
Yeah, that's temperature.
Temperature.
Okay. You have one?
7:10, second to last paragraph, top line, says, blasting for construction, over drilling for drinking water wells can sow. I think it's given
Can.
a sow.
Yep. Okay. Anything else for section 7? Hearing none.
And that's where the habitat maps go, is section 7, right?
Yes, that's where that's where we can put them.
The other ones go in other sections that we haven't looked at yet.
I'm gonna have,
Yeah.
all the maps are
land
gonna be in the appendix, just so they're all there at least. If you want to have some of the maps in the other sections, we would just have to know when we're gonna go out.
If you're going to put them in the rear every time that you mention a map, you need to say what page it's on so you can get to it easily.
I can't do the references until it's all
So,
together.
do you wanna review the maps now, or
Yeah,
hold off?
Well, we got 8 to do.
I
yeah,
know,
but
but
there's like 5 minutes, 6 minutes left before 8, so and I figure I want to know if the maps that at least
let's do the
Charlotte,
maps.
yeah. The maps I care a bit more about, since we do have some GIS person, I'd rather she can walk away from when you're all set. Just going through the maps, so the ones that are done by the state are obviously going to be marked with their information down at the bottom. Then one done by Midcoast Council of Governments is, well, one place out there. So, but the maps are actually going to be done. There'll be the 11 by 17 that you see right here. That's what I'm going to do, unless anyone says otherwise. This, if it's a map provided by the state, it was just provided by the state. If you don't want to include it, you can certainly say you don't want to include it. But this one's just general infrastructure showing at least the cemeteries and I guess an airport in West Bath.
Right, yeah, down there in the bottom,
Yep.
who knew?
It's
I'm
not an
not
airport.
sure there is one.
It's not an airport, it's a helipad.
I know.
It's a helipad.
It's
Yeah.
not an airport, it's a helipad,
If
It's
it's
not
not
public.
that, that'd be fine.
and it's not public.
It's not public.
Oh.
So should it even be on there, if it's not public?
I can raise it to them and see if they'll take it out, but it might just be something where DOT has a permit for a private one that's there.
They do.
And if it's a private one, then they put it on the map.
Okay.
Okay.
Walt Haggard wouldn't like that, sitting on top of his house.
What's this helipad?
Maybe that's what it is.
So that's the just broad infrastructure one that the state gave.
So there's really no way to change these so you can read like the legends or anything better, huh? Okay.
Can't do too much on
But when you get them this size, they're a lot better than this.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and these are printed small, so these aren't,
Well, and the other thing is,
so mine is.
The beginning was
much
habitat.
smaller than yours, you see.
the other thing is, the beginning of habitat maps, did this town not get like the full-blown ones or anything?
We have some, a couple years older, right? Yeah.
I believe we got new ones.
Yeah, because I thought you would have had some like,
I've been asking to have them put up, so we can put them on the wall, but it's not happened yet.
We have some.
you should have the full-blown ones. I mean, the purpose of having these as 11 by 17 or 8 by and a half is just to have them, just to know that they exist, and then you have the full-blown ones for at least the planning board and the CEO.
Could you just walk through where you're gonna put them,
Or what?
The maps.
in that switch section?
I mean, these beginning with habitat ones that we're now on,
Yeah,
you all want me to include them in the natural resources
so
section.
it's all natural resources.
Yes. So I'm gonna have them there, and then
Oh,
what,
okay.
another one can be,
Can you explain what, so there's undeveloped habitat blocks and connectors and conserved lands, that's useful. And there's high value plant and animal habitats, that's useful. And the water resources and riparian habitat. What is the co-occurrence map? What's that tell us that these others don't?
this map represents the concentration of selected environmental assets, asset data layers overlaid on the landscape. Its purpose is to highlight a given area's relative conservation value as an aid in planning. It offers a generalized and subjective view and should be considered a starting point for discussion. This layer on this map includes buffer zones around water features, important natural communities, listed plants and animal species, so on and so on. So this is actually ties a bit later on into what Charlotte's done, for one of her maps, about development potential, where that's including some of the soil ratings map from the USDA. So if there was an interested developer who wanted to put something up in West Bath, they'd look at these two maps to see you know, if there is some sensitive habitat in this area on the co-occurrence one, and then they look at the development potential one to see if it's, if the soil is, rated very high for development.
Okay, well, I probably could figure out this value if I could read it. That's the problem. It's so tiny, the one we have.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one, if we're just talking about maps in general.
Yep.
I like the development potential one. I like the average daily traffic one.
Yep.
What, I don't know what value the road shoulder type map is.
It's for planning, I think, when you wanna widen the road or have a shoulder for a bike lane sort of thing, like some roads don't have a shoulder at all.
Pretty much.
Like they have, like the, part of the Foster's Point Road is white, Mountain Road is white, Quaker Point, part of that is white, the Austin, French Farm Road, why are they white?
This is
They're
interesting.
saying that
No
there's no
shoulder.
shoulder.
That's a lot of places in the shoulder.
Yeah, and that's a bad color, white.
It's just, yeah, that's just hard to see.
I think that white should be something different. I mean, you've got purple, yellow, red, maybe a dark green, or something like that. So it shows up.
No,
I'm just surprised that they show those roads, sections of those shoulder, but I guess they gotta do is hum out, but it's not a big deal either way, that's for sure.
Well,
well, I can see where she got the data too. but-
doesn't Mountain Road not have a shoulder either?
Some places it does, yeah.
Hill Road, I mean,
So,
After the last rainfalls, that place is
It's
not
getting
very
less, there's less out of it.
shoulder.
true.
and for the future land use map, it's just combined, it's just avoiding, you have your land use map in general. I don't think we're changing any of the zones or anything. It's just combined, showing what's the growth area, what's rural, just leave it at that.
Should we have rural residential
In the future land
and
use map,
rural, or just two different colors?
in the future land use map,
Yes.
I mean, the reason it's just saying growth and rural is because growth is the one that's had like the LE 2003, and that's where the state's looking at for growth management act related items. And rural is what you're saying is residential, you want farming, you don't want that much development to happen in that area.
Yeah.
Or dense,
Well, we've broken it down into a high density and a lower density. Rural, two classes of rural in our town, as I understand it.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is that you can't develop commercial in the rural at all, it has to go in the growth, so.
right.
And that's okay if that's what you want to show.
And then we'll just take your current land use map, if there's some changes you want done to it, we can do that as well, but we would just include a copy of the land use map just to show like the overlay. Like,
Carla, where did the new map go?
It hasn't been hung up yet,
okay,
town meeting.
Okay.
so that would just be one of the maps to include.
Is there a reason why this one has double lines for the road and all the other ones have single lines? It's a little bit easier to read with a single line on this future land use map.
I'm not too sure, and I can ask. I think I can make an assumption to support this, but I could just ask. So do you want, do you want double lines for all of them, or do you want single line for the future land use map?
I think a single line makes it easier to read all of them. What do you guys think?
Well, the one big difference between the one with the double line is it's got an awful lot of private roads on it.
Yeah, I don't understand why the data is different, Max, is it?
I will have to ask her, because it should be the same. roads and everything, but.
No, it's on private roads.
Yeah, whereas this road classification one does not.
Doesn't have the private roads. For instance, this has my road, which is a dirt road on this one, but not on any of the others.
So do you want to remove the private roads?
No, I think they're important.
No,
So
I,
add the private roads to the other one.
Yeah,
I think we need all the roads and that they be single line so they're easier to read.
If they can do that easily.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe it's the data source or something, I don't know, but.
If they can't do that easily, we don't need to do it, but if they can do it.
It would be awfully nice if they could distinguish between the private and the town and city roads.
Well, that would probably be on your road
Yeah,
classification.
yeah.
That's on this one.
It shows the town
No, it's
road.
not, there's not a private road on
there's
there.
not a private road
Oh,
on there.
private road, yeah.
It shows which are the town roads.
And there's going to be a list that says exactly which roads are not.
Can you put private roads on that one that doesn't have it on it now?
I can see, but it was a copy that I got from the town, I have to see what it was, but I'm pretty sure it says what's private and what's town and what's state, so I'll have that list and I'll have it when we're going over transportation next time.
So adding the private roads to the road classification map,
Yeah.
right?
And the reason that this is important is there is some discussion in the legislature of issues around private roads as our climate is changing and some of them becoming not travelable.
What was the one I had? The one that's the development potential. Some of those colors are really close in the legend, and then some of the colors in the legend don't match what are in the map. Like the water body is a lot lighter than what's in the legend. I'm wondering if we use, instead of doing all kinds of shades of blue and green, if we use contrasting colors. It's just tough to tell the difference.
Very high and medium are look the same to me.
Yeah, they are. And conservation lands are just a little bit darker, but not much.
Okay.
Seems like there are a
And
lot of
then-
conservation lands.
There's gotta be a way to show the major roads underneath of that.
I can try that one.
Could you make you should be able to make the colors opaque,
When you're saying
less
ma-
opaque.
And when you're saying major roads, are you saying just any public roads?
The
or-
ones that are on here.
Right,
Probably
but
not
does
the
that
private
mean,
ones, but.
so, yeah, okay, just like Foster's and those.
Yeah, maybe the primary roads. Because it's great, the color's on here, but if I don't know, I'd have to overlay this with a layout of the roads to really know where I was. There should be a way to make those colors less opaque, so you can see through them. To below.
I will see what she can do.
Do you know how old this data is on the development potential map?
Well, she got this data a few weeks ago.
It's just some of these soils that they say are,
Soils.
Yeah, the development potential is based on soil ratings for development with data from the USDA. I can ask her when she got the data.
yeah, I'm just curious how old it is.
Yeah, that's
It
really a
makes
good
it
thing.
look like that there aren't many places.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good thing too, is to put at the bottom the origin and date of the data.
So, yeah. Okay.
The average daily traffic, the ADT, that yellow is really hard to see on top of with gray. And again, we've got two different shades of red that look the same, and then sort of I get the whole idea of doing a gradient, but maybe with a map it's better to do contrasting for a bigger change in the color, or the width of the line.
Tennessee Road has 1,000 daily traffic a day.
Yeah, what does that mean, 1,000? Average daily traffic is 1,000?
Annual average daily traffic. So, that's
What does
what,
that mean?
that's what,
1,000 cars a day.
No, it
No.
can't be.
so they'll go out and they'll do like,
Up to 1,000?
so they'll pick a few times throughout the year and they'll just have a measure, the little weird wire that goes across the road. That's
The
a
counter.
Yeah,
The counter, yeah.
yeah. And they're just basing it on all the time people go throughout there. And if you go back and forth, that's counted as twice.
And I would assume that they start at 1,000, so the green is up to 1,000.
Probably.
It's most of the town.
At the low points, 1,000.
So is that 0 to 1,000, the green?
It should be, I don't know, sure, it makes sense.
That's what's
And is that,
reflected.
It's here, it doesn't have a.
and is,
Hill Road, they're all,
I still don't understand what the numbers mean.
You've never seen 1,000 cars on that road.
You s-
You live on Dave.
Max, are you saying that that's per year, 1,000 trips?
Let me see if it's in the
Average
Transportation
daily
section.
traffic.
Annual.
Annual average daily traffic. What's that mean?
Annual average daily traffic. It's like 100-year supply.
Well,
like the
three
most-
cars is a
It sounds like
traffic jam.
Yeah, so this is determined by Maine DOT placing an automatic traffic report at a specific location for a 24-hour period. So they're seeing how many vehicles will cross that one point in a 24-hour period.
Okay, but how do they get from that to annual average daily? I don't know what that means.
This says total volume of vehicle traffic on a highway or road for a year divided by 365 days.
So it's,
So you get 365,000 people on your road a year. So I think the data's,
it's not accurate,
It's
because
actually up to.
it's
It's
not,
confusing.
stop what DOT does.
no, I know, but
it's,
no,
well, the bottom line is, there's no way they have a traffic count on all these roads, they just don't do it, we know that. But this is the data they give you, so that's what you gave us.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
but
fine.
I
So
think
it-
it still has to have an explanation on it when someone reads it to tell them what it means.
what an AADT is? Or the average annual daily traffic?
Something, so that someone knows, you know, is
That's
this,
in the transportation
is this
section.
0 to 1,000?
I'll ask about
Or
that.
is it 1,000 to 2,500?
I will talk with her about that.
Okay.
Either that, or did Hennessy Road when they had a party down there.
They used to have a good time out
They're
there.
putting
All those
totals
people
up.
looking for the winter point oysters.
Oh, but there's some others on there that
But
are
some of that data,
I get it.
Baker Point Road.
Right, when you ask for feedback, so
Yes.
is, when you're plotting this, is it gonna be, just gonna be 11 by 17, it's gonna go in this way? And be folded, or is this gonna stay 8.5 by 11?
Probably gonna be 11 by 17 like this.
Okay, so is this too high that you're gonna cut that off when we find it? Tags?
I'll see what it is, and the 11 by 17s are gonna be more for the ones you can't really see that well, that have so much detail, like the game of habitats. If you don't need an 11 by 17 for something like the ones that,
I,
are
MCOG
clear
did,
enough.
Yeah.
then we don't have to do 11 by 17s.
yeah, I'm just saying that these are close in this corner, they're gonna get cut off.
But do we need that, is that size all right?
I think this one's fine with
Yeah,
that.
so that's, yeah, I would too. If they're fine to look at and see, we don't need to make them larger.
Okay.
So what is this one? This is, I think something happened when this one got plotted. Whatever the white outline along the edge is really too fat. It kind of
I believe
blurs everything else.
I think that's actually something we got from DEP. Yeah, this one probably, this is gonna be 11 by 17, or there should have been at least a portrait instead of a landscape.
And it doesn't cover the whole town, is it supposed to?
No, there's a map that does cover the entire area. I think it just got printed. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be actually printed as a portrait like so, because you see at the bottom here, note the official list of impaired waters is available, and then it cuts off there.
Oh, okay, so
So
it's just.
there should be more to this map.
Okay.
I see.
Don't have two infrastructure maps. And the last is just a broad aerial image.
And the road shows it very nicely. The road shows it very nicely.
I'll make sure to emphasize to our map person, put down Campbell Pond on road classification. And she says she's familiar with the area, so she definitely understands why you want to have that discussion.
I got one right here.
Yeah, I think there were two infrastructure. When the state gave me all the maps, they gave two infrastructure maps, so, sorry about that. Are there any other notes for the maps? Specifically, the ones done by Council of Governments.
These are two different sizes, so what was the,
Should we visit?
was gonna
Be the bigger one.
Any other notes for the maps?
What do you have on tap for next week, our next meeting? What would be-
Is,
When is our next meeting? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
when's the next? It's June
We haven't decided on the June dates yet.
Okay. The next thing would just be to get, well, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And for that, I should be all set. I'll try
Still
to,
got to wait.
yeah,
Do we
I
have,
just need to get the maps updated too.
we don't have copies of the, they said on the 9, 10.
No, those haven't been sent out,
Okay.
because some of these I was waiting for.
The school,
I was waiting for the school, I also had to wait for some budget items and town report items, which I got and I included in them. And then I think I need to talk with someone on the cemeteries. I actually don't know if the cemeteries that are on the infrastructure map actually are sufficient, or if you want me to stick with the cemeteries map and not maybe have for section 9.
they should just look at
Let's-
they need to be listed.
We'll get,
we'll go to section 9, we can do that.
yeah, because there's a few maps and lots that are missing, and yeah.
So in June for meetings, you need a little more time for our next meeting? I mean, instead of the 5th, say the 12th?
If you want the planning board to look at 9 through 12, we need a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm just quickly taking a look. Yeah, because I just need to get, because for the land use section, I still needed to put back in some of the tables that you guys wanted me to have, the showing developments per capita. So, let me look at my calendar.
Did you have the 13th meeting?
We have a meeting on the 13th, yes. But the way they've been going, we've been filling the meeting until 8:30, almost 9 o'clock with people applying, so.
Yeah,
What nights work for you?
I only have the 5th scheduled, but the 12th and everything else works. And I have transportation done, have fiscal capacity done. It's just the land use section that I need to talk to the, to just get some things updated, but I can get that done. So I'd say the 12th is when I can get things all set.
Wasn't today the deadline for the planning board meeting? Did you have any applications come in?
Yep, there's a 30% expansion in main gravel.
So there's 2. So we may or may not have time at the end of the meeting to look at it on the 13th.
Well, if the copies are sent out next week or so for us to look over,
Mhm.
then if we meet on the 12th and the 26th of June,
I won't be here on the 12th.
That's good for me.
can you review and let us know, or drop them off here or something like that,
Yeah.
any comments? So, 12 and 26?
So you want, how soon, Max, do you think you could have those other sections done?
Well,
Yeah,
well, you get us what you can get us for the 12th,
yeah,
and then we'll go from there for the 26th.
that sounds like
Okay, I just like to go through, I hate for the planning board not to look at the sections that we go through here and we'll have to go through them again.
Well, if you're here, I think we can review what this community sees,
Sure.
and then you guys see whatever you see as well for the 26th. But at least we make a little progress.
fine. Yes.
Even if it's not a full meeting, we can get something done.
And there's 2 that are pretty much done already. It's just a matter of trying to see if I can get the land use done by this week.
And do you think there'll be, as far as 1 through 8, reprinted and
I've been making the updates as we've been doing this, so
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can just send those out again.
So we're gonna plan on the 12th of June and the 26th of June for our next meetings.
And the sections that we need to do today, I'm just sending them to Christine, they're gonna head out, or are we waiting until all the sections are done?
I'd like it whenever you've got them to send it.
Yeah, I think we should send them out piecemeal,
Yeah.
as soon as we have them, that way, you know.
Can you relate
They come
that
back
Christine, just give those sections out appropriate to who? Yeah,
All right.
at least that we can review them a little sooner.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Okay, is there a motion to?
Adjourn.
So moved. All
Second.
right, all those. Thank you, Max.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh,